Welcome to Net Friending Social Time for Special Needs Moms with yours truly, April 2.0. And with me tonight is my confidant, co host, and the voice of Net Friending, Roy Montero. Hello, Roy.
Hi, April. So tonight we are going to start a new series. You and I have been talking about this for some time. 4 years ago we met, and when I found out that you were in the special needs world with your son, Momo, aka Morgan, who just turned 10 5 days ago, and I am now the proud bonus papa or um, bonus. Uh, I call myself Pop because that's the name I used for my dad as the term of endearment when I learned that as an adult. Um, I watched too much The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. Okay, that kind of dates me because Ricky always used to call his dad Pop, and so I like that, and so that's my term. So I'm Bo Pop to Momo. Um, I want to introduce you, April, to everyone, and I want to do it through the 6 degrees of separation from April Roga. And then we also want to talk about someone who is she probably doesn't know you yet. You are not yet on her radar, or maybe not enough on her radar. But we're talking about um, Kate Swenson, the mother of Cooper, and she has a Facebook page that is very popular. You ran across it probably a couple, 3 years ago when she first started. She's been talking recently, like within the last couple of weeks, that she's been doing it for 3.5 years. And her son, is he 9 already? Cooper, is he already 9?
Yeah.
I think he's like less than a year younger than Morgan, Momo. And there's a lot of parallel and overlap because I don't know, I just came up listening to a lot of people talk about severe autism. Now, that's something that you've never used the word severe, is that correct?
No, I don't think I have.
Yeah, and I think I should use that. We should use that because I think that's what Morgan is. He has severe autism. He's nonverbal. He's 10 and he's still in pull-ups. And we've been working with him. The school's been working with him, and he's just not grasping it. Um, but he's very smart. He knows his daily, like, let's just call them commands very healthily. Momo, get your table. Momo, put your dishes away. Turn off the light. Go get the iPad. Give us the iPad. Hey, Teresa. Um, April, our link is in the description, yes?
Yes.
So,
So,
ladies, gents, anyone, if you want to join us, if you hear us talking about something, or even if we're not, and you'd like to introduce yourself and join us, and even if it's just for 5-10 minutes, please. We're here to socialize. This is let me put this up
social
here
hour,
really quick. Yeah,
social time.
it's our social time. We're here to connect with you. We're here to let you know about other people, and we want to let other people know about you.
It's
Eh,
just consider this your virtual living room and
yes.
come join us.
Please come join us. Don't be shy, and even if you are shy, come join us because yeah, there's no need to be shy. Do what I do. If you're not ready for camera, or you just woke up, or whatever the situation is, it's like, oh, I'm not dressed for camera. I don't have my makeup on and all that. Well, neither do I. Joanna.
Joanna. Every time I hear that, I want to sing the song. Joanna is
Joanna, Joanna, we're going to be talking in front of your back because you're one of the rare breeds of people out there who socialize. So Joanna's been on our show before, and she came on voice only, She was able to upload her picture, her avatar, as they say here. This is such an easy platform. Click the link in the description. Whether you're on mobile, whether you're on
Or
um,
well,
uh,
it will be if you're on
computer,
mobile.
laptop, whatever you're at. Yeah, it's so easy. There's nothing to download. It's all browser based. The audio, the video is amazing. And we just want to socialize. And one big shout out to StreamYard. This platform is the StreamYard platform. And if you want to go there and use this, do your own, and get a $10 off, April's going to put the bottom third, the lower third, because we have all of this ready to go. We got comments, we got what they call banners, which are actually lower thirds. This is such an amazing platform. We love it. We've been using it for a little over a year and a half now, and we love it. Gage and Dan are just amazing. They've been doing a town hall every week, 9 o'clock Eastern on Sunday. Just look them up on YouTube or Facebook or wherever they are, because they're all over the place now too. And that's the beauty of this, is that we can stream to different locations, different platforms all at one time, simultaneously, and we love it. So again, we are basically here to support you, and we'd love it if you would support us in any way, shape, or form. And that's yet to be determined what that is. You could do that through hashtags. Look, we have net friending. You don't have to put the registered trademark, the circle R, because that it won't show up anyway. So net friending, social time, hashtag. If you put those two things together, you'll find all of our shows. Andy's here. Andy, welcome. And
Oh, look. Joanna says it's super easy. She's talking about the access.
yes, that night that she showed up. Yes, absolutely. April, Valerie, we forgot to put the link in for Valerie.
That's because I don't know what the Valerie link is. There's so many links.
No, she wants to join us. We forgot to put the link in, and just grab the StreamYard link up on top and throw it into our messenger with her, and then she'll tell us what it is. Where was I?
Lillian says she works with special needs children, and she will try and point some of her parents our way.
Oh, that would be awesome. And Lily, we would love for you, even if it's behind the scenes, it doesn't have to be live during our show. We come out and do this every Tuesday at this time, 9 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We would love to talk to you behind the scenes. April, put your link up. And Lily, please connect with April on Messenger. Send her a friend request, and let's do some of this behind the scenes, because that's what we want to do. We want to shout other people out. Hopefully other people will shout us out to shout out more people, and so on and so forth. We want this to be a network of autism moms, and of course autism dads as well. And we have a hashtag autism moms. And we just want to help people to connect so they're not by themselves, that they're not lonely or alone. What is she saying, April? Please read it.
She has a son that's on the spectrum that's graduating. I'm assuming high school, because I could be wrong.
Yeah, we could be wrong. It might be college.
Yeah.
But as young as Lily looks, wow, that's a lot of L's. It's probably high school. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Love that. Oh, and Valerie's here, so let's bring Valerie up. Hi, Valerie. Welcome.
Hi,
Sorry, we forgot about the link. We were running late.
Valerie has had a very full day, I know.
Yes, I have.
Well, this is our friend and a co-host, and she is someone we met about 2 months ago, and we became fast friends. We had overlap. I'll let Valerie tell you a little bit about her. Valerie, introduce yourself. Tell people what you're doing in the world. I know you're starting something new. You've had a couple of webinars for it and all of that. Please let everybody know, who are you and what you're doing in the world.
Sure. So I'm Valerie Abrahamian, and I have an advocacy agency called Advocates for Angels. And you can find me on Advocates for Angels on Facebook. Advocatesforangels.com is my website. And I am an advocate for children on IEPs. And I have a academy where I teach parents how to learn how to become a parent advocate for their child. And right now I'm launching a membership for parents to be able to make sure that the fall does not look like April, May, and June in terms of your child's education. Because 80% of the 7 million kids across the nation are not receiving an education at this time, are regressing and losing all the skills they worked so hard to achieve for the school year, and parents don't know what to do. And so really all of these districts are violating the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act because IDEA still remains in effect. There was no waivers. So just because there's a national emergency, districts are saying, well, we can't do what we're supposed to do. But Secretary Nancy DeVos, the U.S. Secretary of Education, said, yes, school districts, you are still obligated to teach kids. So that's why I created this program, this membership. It's not really a program. It's a membership because I know parents are tired. The last thing they want to do is take a program, right? That's not what parents want to do. So that's not what it is. It's where you're going to be getting access to me. I'm going to be showing you and teaching you how to make sure that next school year is not the same as this school year, whether we are social distancing and go back to school or whether we have virtual schooling at the new year, whether during flu season it flares up again and they close down again. It's to make sure that you have a contingency plan and your child is set for a good education for next school year, no matter what situation we're in.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Thank you. Yes, yes, we need this. So when I first learned about Valerie, I had no idea that these IEPs were so difficult to connect for the full, what's the wording, the full benefits that our kids are entitled to. And April, you just had your IEP meeting, so let Valerie know and the rest of the world know how that went, please, and I'll come back after.
How'd it go?
Well, for me, it was way different than recent ones, only because I have to tell you, it was because of you.
Good.
I asked questions that I probably wouldn't have asked had we not had that recent conversation about devices and stuff like that. So
Good.
I did have a pre-conversation with his teacher the morning of, because I sent her an email the night before telling her my concerns that he's getting older and he's going to start having behavior issues as he gets more cognitively aware. And I just want to nip that now. And so she agreed that she's been a little lax in the communication department because they were heavily focused on getting him potty trained this year. She said not an excuse, but she wants to really, double down on the communication. And I asked her if we could get an iPad at home this year. And she said they don't usually send one home. And I told her I've gotten every excuse in the book before from the leadership about budgets. There's not money and just every excuse you could think of. And she said that if she'll make it happen, get him assigned an iPad in the class, that she'll just send it home with him nights and weekends.
But I thought he had one in the class already.
It's a classroom one. They don't have one.
Classroom one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I highly recommend you put all of that in writing, or they documented in the IEP. Did they put
it in the IEP?
They did when you were there?
On the Zoom call. She was going to actually, come to think of it, I didn't get a copy of it yet.
Okay. So if she didn't, then you don't sign it until she does. Because the second it goes in writing, it's a request and they have to reply.
Yep.
If you don't get it in writing, it's going to be a big delay factor again. It's not going to be a issue never asked because you just said it verbally. It's not in the IP. It means nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other thing was I asked for an assistive technology assessment.
Yay.
Yay! But let me tell you guys, for all of you watching, it's because she pushed me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm
Because
a
that's
little
the most important thing for your kiddo. He's got to have some way to communicate. And then you're going to see what he can do. World is going to open up for him once he has a form of communication.
He hasn't had an assistive technology assessment from the school because she said they have to start with internal first.
But did they do one?
They did one a few years ago, but she said, I agree, he needs to be assessed again because he's made huge leaps of accomplishments since then. So,
okay. But remember, if it's hasn't been over 2 years, you can ask for the independent one. It's been 3?
I think it's been 3, yeah.
Okay, then you have to let them do it first.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So, but I think, they never give you the full to the maximum extent. So they're going to come back with their little things and what they say, which they're probably going to say, oh, we're still going to work on PECs. He's doing so great with PECs. And then that means nothing because PECs is nothing. It's, it's something. It's better than nothing, but he needs communicate. Does he use PECs all the time? Does he talk to you through pictures? Probably not, right?
They actually, this is how wonderful his teacher is. She texted me over the weekend, Sunday morning, and she said, I just wanted to let you know I put Morgan's PECs stuff in the mailbox for you. And I'm like, my house mailbox? She went to the house and put it in the mailbox so that I would have it.
Oh, good. Yeah, well, definitely keep using it because that is what they're teaching him now. But if it's not effective,
it's not.
That it really, I've never seen it be effective, really. So, unless you get a professional specialist in assistive technology, you're going to see things happen. You'll start to see things happen once that happens. An IEE, not the school district,
right?
A private professional come in, do an assessment, and then you're going to see things happen after that happens.
I know. I just got to stay on top of them. That's my fault because I don't. It just becomes the merry-go-round of we can't, and then I'm like, but he needs this, and they make excuses why.
But now they can't say that now because what you put the timeline in motion. Once you ask, you make sure it says in your IEP, I'm requesting an assistive technology assessment. Boom. Then within 15 days, they have to give you an assessment plan. And then after you sign the assessment plan, within 60 days, they have to do the assessment and have the IEP. Now, in your state, that might be a little different, the timelines, but it's going to go something like that. And then, of course, it's going to be summer, so it's not going to happen until after you get back. But then it's going to happen. There's no way. And if they go past that timeline, they are violating law.
Right.
And
Let
just
me just double.
Yeah.
Let me just double check. Lillian, is that you? Lil Map, is that you, Lillian? Okay, so Lillian, if you're still in the studio audience, text to us if that's you attempting to come in. Or because I don't see the name being the same, but I'm just curious. So Little Map, yes, yes, it is her. Okay, great. So April, what can we help her with because she's not connected? We hear sound, but she's not connected. So
she said yes, and then she said no. So I don't know.
Was that you attempting to come in? Are you taking a seat with us, Lillian?
Maybe it was an accident. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to double check. You ladies continue, please.
So that's good. I'm glad you're on your way. That's a good thing.
Yes. I was going to share that with you, but it was too much.
I know.
And I know you've been uber like going from this to that to this to that.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work doing this launch.
I know.
Because that's what's needed right now.
Now, tonight, you did the webinar at 7. I couldn't remember. Is the next one on Tuesday next week?
No, today was the last. I did 3. Today was the third one. I don't have any more scheduled for now. I'm going to see how things are going and how many people are going to join the membership. And then I'll decide whether I want to extend the launch or that will close the cart now. So it just depends on, I have to see what the results were for today. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I would think lots of parents would be interested because many parents are very unhappy with what's happened for the past 3 months. And can you imagine, even if we do open up in the fall, they're going to be doing the social distancing insanity? I mean, I found more out about it, that they're talking about having the kids have partitions, like glass partitions or plastic partitions around their seats. And how it's so insane what they're talking about. Like, how is this going to happen? And then they're splitting up the days and so on. And they're going to take temperatures when they come in. They're going to, all this stuff. I talked about it on my webinar.
You didn't get to be able to focus on education with all that chaos going on.
That's what I mean. There's not going to be any learning going on. And if we have virtual schooling again, there's not going to be any learning going on. So there's a risk of kids losing a whole school year of learning. But see, the good thing is that us as parents on IEPs, we have federal law behind us. We have recourse. General ed kids have no recourse. They have no recourse. They can't do anything. There's no law that says general ed kids have all these rights and they can sue the school district or, they violated something. They can't. We can't. So that's what I want to tell parents is you can do something about this.
But just as easily as a law can go into effect, can it not be taken away? Wasn't that what we were just in danger of with?
Yes, which was my other point that I made. It's like, you guys, the law is still in effect right now. So you better get your butts in gear and make sure you get an IEP that's going to cover your ass in case it does get waived. Because it could really happen. It already almost happened before. So the next time she could do it. Because these districts are getting so far under, in the red. And now they're just going to get sued and complaints, and they're going to have all these compensatory services to make up. Doesn't look good. That's all I got to say.
Valerie, let me see if I get this right. So if April just got her IEP, so it's good for the whole entire school year or fiscal year or year, since
Not
this
yet.
is already May, and they have to honor it, even if they revoke the law.
Oh yeah,
during that period.
The IEP, it won't revoke the IEP. It'll just revoke that distance learning time. They'll get lifted of their obligations. But she'll still have to have an assessment. She'll still get, IEPs will still move forward. But during distance learning, they won't have to make up anything because nobody did what they were supposed to do. That's what they want to waive. They want to waive the distance learning time.
Okay.
But you guys are doing something different. You're creating an assessment to get a communication or a device. And so that won't be waived.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to sleep well tonight. So I now had that thought, and I'm going like, okay, so we're set for the year. All right, that's good.
Well, not yet. You took the first step with the IEP today.
Okay.
It's not done, and yeah. So and she has to make sure it was written properly, which it's questionable whether she wrote everything in there. Hopefully, she did.
So here's my other question. Since you just said that the kids that don't have special needs and stuff like that, they don't have these kind of laws.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, this is just my own assessment, and I'm hearing a few kids can't do this through virtual means like Zoom or any kind of. They need to be there hands-on. They need to have a teacher in front of them. They need to be in the classroom setting. Is there a possibility they'll take the special needs kids and go, you guys can come to school, but the rest of, if they decide that, has that been discussed anywhere? Have you thought about that at all, Valerie?
Yeah, I really don't see that happening because the special needs kids get discriminated against. They're the last ones that they think about. They're focused on general ed kids, and special needs funding gets taken away. They dip into special needs funds all the time for general ed. And so special ed has never been fully funded since 1972 when Ford signed it into law. It's never been fully funded, and it's still not fully funded today. So, which is why us as parents have so many problems and they don't serve our kids because they don't want to spend the money that they don't have already. So, which is why we're put in these adversarial situations and why you have to have advocates and attorneys suing them all the time. So it's the whole problem is money. So no, they would never do that because that would be like taking care of the special needs kids before the general ed kids. And no, they're not going to do that.
Wow.
So aside from parents going to, through the normal protocols to get something for their child, what can we do together as a community to bring about change and to have our voice be louder collectively?
Mm-hmm. So, well, the number one step is for every parent to hold their district accountable for their individual child, because every parent that holds a district accountable and doesn't let them get away with violating their rights, then the districts have to do what they're supposed to do. So say, what if there's like 1,000 parents in a district that holds them accountable? That district's going to have to change big time. And so then parents can actually get together in groups and they can do things that to hold districts accountable. Like they can write group compliance complaints on that district. They can go to the school board meetings and they can speak at school board meetings about things that are happening with their child's IEP, how their child's needs aren't being met, violations that are taking place, why they're not happy. And that can happen because the school board, they're the bosses. They're the ones that oversee everything in that district. So and school boards usually don't know what's going on. So we have to tell them. And there's other things.
I'm sure the school board meetings now, I don't know, are they out? Well, I guess school here is almost over. This is the last week, technically, that school would be in session.
Oh, it is.
But I assume they're still having school board meetings virtually because they usually carry that virtually anyway. But now that parents can't go physically to school board meetings, I'm guessing
But you can still get online because school board meetings are public.
But so if you want to address something with the school board and have it brought in front of everybody so that it could be heard by even
so it would be the same thing as if it was live. You go and before the meeting, or every district has different, way they set it up. So you just tell them because there's a public forum where you can talk. Anybody can talk. Right. And so you fill out a form or you tell them, I want to talk during the public forum time. And then you get to talk. So if they're doing it virtually, then they would have to give you, first of all, show you how to watch it or be on it. And then have your time to talk virtually. They would have to connect you.
Yeah. I did that in the physical. So I wasn't sure if it worked the same way virtually now.
Well, they have to because everything has to be done virtually now. So they can't, that would be a violation again if parent rights to take away the chance for parents to talk to the school board. That's, set up that way. So yeah.
This is a great, well, I don't know if they're bringing parents online virtually to speak for themselves or if they're just reading things that parents have written in, but if
you don't allow parents to speak. Because you get 3 minutes, usually 3 minutes or 4 minutes or whatever it is. Not a whole lot. Yeah. That's why I always tell parents, write out exactly what you want to say. Because once you get up there, 3 minutes goes like that. And then you don't get everything said that you want to say. So I say, write it out and then time yourself. Make sure you're within 3 minutes and just read it. Because then you will get everything out. Yep. And then you'll say what you want to say and you won't get cut off. That's the best way. Because it's stressful when you get up there.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't like public speaking, even though reading in front of a podium or whatever. This might be the perfect time for parents who are kind of shy or, you know, that doing it this way might even be better for them because they could really just say what's on their mind and not feel like everybody's eyeballs are on them.
If you go in groups of, you know, like groups of parents and you go one after another, it's very powerful. When you get a group of parents going in and complaining one after another, then they just sit up and listen. There's always a parent or two at a meeting that goes and complains, but they're like, yeah, here's a parent. But if you go in with 10 or 20 parents at a time, they're like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, so that's what Samson was saying, that you have to hold them accountable. And that's not just for special needs kids, that's for all of our kids.
Yeah, because I believe that, hi, Samson, by the way, I believe that Samson's talking about his non-special needs child or children. Valerie, spot on. Communicate with other parents, keep tabs on all the teachers, hold everyone, including us parents, accountable. I love that. And earlier he said his son, April, if you'd read that.
Yeah, he said his son's getting a way better education at home than he did at school. And the pandemic has exposed a lot. Still not sure what direction once the schools open back up. It's a bit frustrating because, and I was telling you, they're not. When I asked what they're being told about the start of the school year, they were like, the vice principal said, we don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Can't get blood out of a turnip. I mean, if she says she doesn't know.
They don't know. Nobody knows across the nation. But what we do know is they can make a plan. They can make a plan for, if there's virtual schooling, here's your virtual plan. If you got your regular IEP, here's your IEP plan. So, and that's what should be accomplished at your IEP meeting. Those two plans in place, so you're set to go for the fall. Otherwise, you're screwed because you're not getting nothing. And when they go back in the social distancing, joke, they're not going to be educated very well because you know how it took them so long to figure out virtual schooling. You know, they're just now kind of figuring it out, and it's been almost 10 weeks. So this is going to be the same thing if we have that social distancing thing. They'll be like, oh, what do we do? Oh, we have these partitions, or keep the kids 10 feet apart and, take their temperature, make them wash their hands, then it's going to take them 2 months to figure out that. And there goes another 2 months of education. Right.
And I want to address this because Lillian says, it's hard that children on the spectrum all learn differently. And this is how parents are going to learn what really works for their child. And just, now that I'm working from home and my son's been here with me most of the week, I said, this is the most time I've invested with him since I went back to work after he was born. And so I'm learning a lot about him that I don't get to see when he's in school. And now I have this time to explore more about him and see things that I don't normally see that I can now ask his teachers about and get feedback on that wouldn't have otherwise happened.
Yes, absolutely. That's the positive that I always talk about, that this is done because, now parents are like seeing everything, and you can actually see, wow, there's no goal for that. And he should have a goal for that. I didn't know he couldn't do that. Why isn't there a goal? They're not teaching that. Or, oh my gosh, he's doing that. Why is there a goal for that? They should take away that goal. He already knows how to do it. And then you go talk to them. You can change goals. You can find gaps in the IEP. You can see their strengths and weaknesses much better because you're actually sitting there doing it. So it's really a good thing for parents because you're intimately getting to know your child and their strengths and weaknesses and comparing to what's actually in the IEP.
Yep.
For sure. That's the big positive to all of this, which makes you an actual better equal IEP team participant, where you can be more participate at the IEP meetings because you have something to say now because you know more.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be some rough waters ahead is all I know because it's not ending anytime soon, Roy.
I just want to chime in here really quick and say that, you have a what do I want to say? A connection, a little deeper connection than the average bear with Samson.
I do.
And not only when he just gifted you a microphone, and I want you to talk about that a little bit, but so did he know, or did you know, I should say,
Didn't know.
that he had a special needs child? And Samson,
Wow.
yeah, I want to get together with guys, with dads. I'm a bonus dad to Morgan, Momo. So I'd love to get together behind the scenes, voice only. It doesn't matter however you want to show up. Just to connect and compare notes, and then just tackle those issues of life that us dads have that are not necessarily just autism moms or special needs moms. And is your son special needs in which way?
The
We
autism
Is it
or
autism? Yeah, is it autism, cerebral palsy? We were going through a bunch of different ones, that spinal bifida, all these that I'm getting to know. So I just want to personally invite you to connect with us. He's already connected with you. You've been talking behind the scenes on Facebook Messenger. Just let April know, and we can make a special inner circle for us dads, pops. I call myself a pop, bo pop,
I can't
bonus pop.
I can't be in that inner circle.
You have, yeah, you're going to be in the inner circle also. You have to be
Yeah.
there because we're doing things as a couple, and hopefully your wife too, Samson, can join us. And yeah, I just want to extend that because we're doing this. This is all about the social stuff. So yeah, wanted to extend that to you as well. So April, quick little thing.
We were in a live stream the other day. In the morning, we go watch a daily live show that happens on YouTube at 11 a.m. Eastern, and it's with Pat Flynn from the Income Stream. And Samson had won a microphone giveaway, and we were kind of jockeying in the comments. I was wanting to win the microphone, and he won. And then a few days later, Pat Flynn said, April, Samson gifted you his microphone. So that was really sweet of him.
Wow, how nice.
Yes.
That's really nice. Very generous.
Single moms too.
Yeah, single moms too.
All different categories. I was in that boat too, single mom in it, and
Yep.
it's rough. And we all need that space to be able to come together and just share what we're struggling with, and share the joys and the celebrations and the milestones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. So for all of you there that are listening to us, this is not your average live stream.
No.
We want you to be social with us. We want you to interact with us in the text. We want you to take a seat. If you weren't here for the earlier invitation, there's a link to join us in a seat here in the description. Nothing to download, phone, computer, laptop, iPad, doesn't matter. Just sit here with us. You don't even have to turn on your camera. Just turn off your camera and do like I'm doing, voice only. And let's have these discussions, social discussions, but yet those other discussions that are needed, because if you have a special needs child, right, Valerie, every special needs child has an IEP. Is that correct?
No, not necessarily. You have to be found eligible for an IEP, and you have to be assessed and be found eligible. So parents, yeah. So
okay.
There's lots of kiddos that are unidentified, and or that their parents don't want them to have an IEP.
So okay, so this is new. So some parents don't know that they have this IEP benefits available to them, and or some that do and go, nah, we don't need it.
Well, take like kids like ADHD, which there's zillions and trillions of them. So a lot of those kids don't have IEPs, and some parents try to get one, and they get denied, even though they probably are eligible, but they don't know how to appeal the denial. Or some school districts say, we want to assess your child because we think your child's eligible for an IEP. And then the parent might say, no, I don't want my child in special ed. So it could go either way.
Okay.
And you have the 504 plan also for those kids that don't qualify for special needs, but they have some kind of, they need some special accommodations.
There's some in between on that. Yeah.
There's
from
a
the regular.
It's a different law, and it doesn't give as many procedural safeguards and many services as an IEP, but it will provide the student whatever they need to access the curriculum. And it's called the 504 plan. Yeah.
Love it. So guys, listen, Valerie is your girl. If you need IEP and beyond help, or just, getting to know her on a level of which, like, I don't know what I don't know. It's like, can you help me or not? Because I don't know what I don't know. But if you do know what you know, and you don't have someone who's a classroom advocate, she's in California, but Valerie, isn't it basically the same as federal law? You said something like that to me, so you would be able to help them along those lines as well.
I have parents all over the nation that work with me.
Great. Here's her link, guys. Go to facebook.com, Advocates for Angels.
Yep.
And some places you're actually the number 4 advocate for the number 4 Angels as well. What's your website? Yes. I think that's the best place to go. And your website is the number 4angels.com. Is that correct?
Both. I have both.
Okay, so one redirects. Okay, great. Great. So I just want to make sure where you guys can find her. You can find her on Facebook. Are you anywhere else? Twitter,
LinkedIn.
IG?
I'm on LinkedIn under Valerie Abrahamian at Advocates for Angels. I'm on Instagram now.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I'm in California too.
Yeah, she's in Southern California. So
I'm in San Diego.
Yeah.
So yeah, and if you guys are interested in my membership, because it's a low cost, that's why I created it, because I wanted to create it so all parents could take advantage of it, and because this is financially everyone's strapped right now, and so yeah, go check out my Facebook page if you're interested, because you can. Any questions you have about your child's IEP or distance learning or whatever problems you're having, that's why I created it for this time. So
I love it. I love it. Okay, so
guys, I'm gonna go eat dinner.
Yeah, now. Awesome. Yes. Thanks, Valerie.
Thanks, you guys. Good seeing you.
Good night.
Good night.
Doll Reed said, "We love you, Valerie."
Oh, bye.
Oh, nice.
See?
Take care.
Oh.
So, Sampson's in Orange County. Nice. That's. I was in Orange County, Anaheim Hills, Fullerton, Lakewood. Yeah, I was all over. Burbank. I came to beautiful downtown Burbank when I was 10, so I know the Southern California area well. Just recently, yes.
Look,
thank you for
something like this for a while. So, Samson, I know you got to go, but you are more than welcome to come take a seat with us here
anytime.
Tuesday nights at 9:00 Eastern, or we can just do this on the fly if there's a burning topic that you want to discuss.
Oh my goodness! Look where Lillian is.
She's
Lillian.
in Bakersfield, California.
I just left there. I was in Weldon, Lillian. So that's right in between Bakersfield and Ridgecrest. So, oh my goodness. How long have you been there? People should know each other, right? It's like, oh my goodness, I'm from there too. Do you know so-and-so? So what a small world it is. I love this. So in the time that we have remaining, I just wanted to share all of this, because we never know what our shows are going to look like. We prepare stuff behind the scenes, and then we have all of this stuff that we want to shoot out to people. But then if we have Valerie show up, and Valerie stayed a little longer than normal, she had more to, and we love that. But usually we want people to come up with some segments, like the evening news, and you could do a segment and this and that, because all of us are not as smart, individually, none of us is as smart as all of us. So if we can all add, I learned some stuff here for our son. So I want
to know what she's excited about. She's
probably the Bakersfield connection or the Southern California connection. 20 years she's been there.
Yes.
And she's originally from Orange County, from the OC. Remember when they had that show there? So that's awesome. It is great, right? When we have a connection with people, when we know from, like I like to say, the stomping grounds that we were once a part of.
She never got any help with her son, and she
Oh
wants.
yeah, you're gonna love Valerie.
You want to help advocate for. You want to help other people advocate now that your son's older. I'm guessing that's what you're saying because your son's 20. So
Yeah, she's paying it forward. She'd love to pay it forward, right? Lillian, absolutely. We'd love to give you a segment. We'd love for you to be part of our inner circle because we're going to have hashtags galore. And I just have such an idea about doing this and having a 24/7 type of network where you can open up your own room now that Messenger Rooms is open. And I see that she's connecting with us on Facebook, so she's not a YouTube gal necessarily, but Facebook, so she should know about the rooms. And yeah, I want that where people, like, if their child's having a meltdown, if you're having a meltdown, or you just need some adult conversation, whatever that looks like to you, you come in and you just sit there and you just let us love on you. Just let us just cheerlead you and just be in silence with you sometimes, or just pray with you, or just cry with you, laugh with you. That's what this is all about. We just need to come together because many of us feel so so lost because we don't have.
From my vantage point, I was thinking about this earlier. So when it comes to connecting with other parents who have kids with special needs, it's like, for me, I'm not looking for somebody to sit down and have an all day, even a 1 or 2 or 3 hour conversation with somebody about our kids and what they're going through. It's more situational for me, where my son is at in his journey. It's like the other night, and I'll have to make a video on this. I know Roy wanted me to do it the other day, but time just got away. And we went to the store, and because he's eaten jelly type things before, like, the gummy bears, the store didn't have any chewable, like hard chewable vitamins. And I'm on this kick because I've been watching my friend Andy Falco Jimenez talking about COVID, and he's had doctors on, and they're talking about what vitamin supplements to take. And so now I'm kind of freaking out. I'm like, oh, my kid's not taking vitamins anymore. I don't know why I stopped giving it to him, but they didn't have the hard chewable ones. So all I could get was this big, like $14 bottle of gummy vitamins. And I'm like, oh, that'll be no problem. He'll chew that. What happened? He literally started crying like he was being tortured in some kind of chamber. It was horrible. And so this genius over here had the idea to, hey, let's Google how to dissolve gummy bears.
Can we melt those gummy bears? Can we nuke them?
Yeah.
And put it in his juice where he's unaware.
The first attempt at doing that, just putting the gummies in a glass, yielded us what looked like gum. It was no gummy. It was just gum. And it was like...
And it was burnt a little bit, so we had to put it in juice. Yeah, meltdown. But so we got it, and he's drinking it, and he's not tasting it. And
the key is to put like that much liquid in a glass with 2 gummy worms and like 15 seconds in the microwave, and then put something cold with, add cold drink to that warm stuff. And it's like, don't waste your gummy bears if your kid will not take gummy bear vitamins. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because at first I cut it up into fourths and just handed it to him to swallow whole. And that was a chore, but he did it, but not without crying all the way through it, having like his adverse response. And yeah, we don't want to go through that. So, and I told April, I said, I'm sure there's a few other parents that might find this useful, or maybe they'll change to it because it's too difficult to go through. They will chew and they will do this, but it's still a chore for them. So maybe we could do it like easy way. And that's what we're wanting to do here, is to get parents together, and it's like, oh, what's your tip and trick, and like Lillian's saying, her son is graduating, so he's 12th grade. I mean, to a fourth grader, a fifth grader is a genius, and to an 11th grader, a 12th grader is a genius. So yeah, I'd love to have her come on, do a segment, join us in a seat. And sometimes you don't even have to do it live with us, Lillian, if you want to do something and put because we love screen sharing like this. We're about to do this. So there, we could screen share your thing. So we're screen sharing Kate. Kate is somebody we want to talk about a little bit tonight, because I want to show people what April went through and what Kate has gone through with Cooper. Cooper's less than a year younger than Morgan. So, but she's got two other kids that are younger. And so we don't know yet the third one, but the second one is special needs free, if you want to say it that way. So do you have anything else before we play this really quick before we end?
No, just going along the lines of what I was.
Oh, look who's back.
I know.
Welcome back, Samson. Awesome.
What I was going to say before I got sidetracked myself with the gummy bear situation, was that, it's situational for us. Pretty much all day, our son he's good. He iPads, he's obedient, he's content, he's joyful, happier than any kid I know. It's just those situations that are sensory related that we really struggle with him. So I don't have a desire to seek out other special needs parents to kind of commiserate with for hours at a time. I want to build a friendship with somebody that I have other stuff in common with, that I can have deep conversations with and go, I'm really going through X, Y, or Z right now because I'm concerned about work or whatever that thing is. And then know that because we share the special needs connection, that when something does come up, I can go to that person and go, oh my goodness, I've done everything I know to do in this situation, and I'm lost. Do you have anything for me? Because I know you've been there already. Or you just get it. That's all I think some of us need, is just that balance of both, deep friendship with that little sprinkling of special needs know-how.
Yeah, I think that the community of special needs parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, sisters, brothers, nieces, nephews, I mean, the whole extended family is what we're wanting to let people know is our community, our tribe. This is what we want to build. And basically what we're doing here, what everybody is doing here, in my mind, everybody that live streams, it's nothing more than a TV 2.0 talk show. That's really what it is. And if you look at it like that and you give it that kind of a feel, and if that's the way you see it, you treat it that way, then it's interactive. It's not like, a talk show like Oprah or like Ellen, where you have a guest, you have a live studio audience. I mean, that's great. That's one thing. And we're doing that now virtually. But because we can have up to 6 seats here. And April, show people, please, what it would look like with 6 seats here. And I know Zoom has like hundreds of seats, but I think a cozy 6-seater like this would be amazing. To have 6 people on and give everybody an opportunity to speak on a question that's asked or an issue of life, because that's really what we want to tackle here. Because when April and I first met, that's exactly what I did with her. I said, okay, let's just build a friendship. Let's be friends. How do people become friends? Well, you got to invest time with each other, not spend. So when April got home afterwards and put Morgan to bed and stuff like that, every moment that she had available, she would connect with me. The first 10 months, it was just us together, and I was helping her with this issue, and she was helping me to understand more about the special needs world and Momo and everything else. And so I was learning a lot from her. We were learning from each other. And so I don't want the mentor-mentee mentality. So I asked a friend of mine what would be a term that we could use, because I just want to be friends. I want friends helping each other, educating each other. And she goes, well, why don't we mash that and make it a frienducation or frienducators? And I'm like, I'm in. So friends educating each other, that's what we want to do. And so many people we see, especially I have been looking at Kate, who you see on the screen there, a lot of the people that follow her, because she's got a lot of followers, and they're saying, "Oh my goodness, I learned so much from you, Kate, another fellow autism mom, or others here who are putting in their 2 cents than I ever could from wherever else you were getting this type of information." Because a lot of times when you find out that you have a special needs child, there's nobody else in your family that's even went through that or what have you. That's all going to change in the coming years, but right now you're lonely, you're stuck, you're isolated, you're by yourself, and then you seek out stuff and you may not even get the right stuff, because there's a lot of miscommunication and misunderstanding, and diet is a big one. Some people say the diet can cure, autism or your special needs or what have you. And I would love it if more people caught on, and then we can, find people who have a little bit more authority than us, so to speak. But I love talking to the people in the trenches, and that's who Kate is, that's who April is. And here we are 4 years later, April and I, and we want to go into this like full time. Not only do we want to do this every Tuesday at 9 o'clock p.m. and bring on people or just have people show up, because this goes into a lot of different feeds right now. There's like at least, I would think, between 1,000 and 200, 1,200 maybe, people that have access to this live stream right now. So if they happen to come on and see it, yeah, they'll stop by and they'll say hi or not, or they'll just watch. And who knows who we may infect and who we may bring on and who that may lead to. Like what Lillian wants to do. She wants to help.
And, the other thing is you see a lot of these. So I've talked before about how I have imposter syndrome.
Yes, you have.
Don't worry, it's not contagious.
I don't know about that.
Okay, well, it might be. It depends on how long you hang around with me. But so I watch a lot of these. I watch a lot of these people who are autism moms who have really big followings, and I think that they're so knowledgeable and they're so out there. Like they're going through the same stuff that I go through or that I've been through, and I'm like, I can do what they're doing. How come like people don't follow me? I'm personable and I have stuff to talk about, but a lot of the things that I've been through, it's like already happened. And I'm like, well, it's not relevant. And like, why would Kate ever take a seat with me? Or because these are people that I like. Kate is somebody that I look at that. And I think I left this comment in her live stream the other day. She probably never saw it, but I love that even though she became well-known 3 years ago because her video went viral, and she was doing exactly something that I did. When was the Walgreens meltdown, Roy? Like a year and a half ago?
Yeah, less than 2 years ago.
And it was me sitting in the parking lot having my own meltdown, and she did that with in the car having a meltdown of her own. And it's just being in the right place at the right time to infect or affect people. And she's been, she got to see Jimmy Fallon, and she's been featured in a lot of publications. She was just on the Philip DeFranco YouTube channel. He included a clip from her TikTok review of the autism challenge that took place. So Samson's double dipping. Funny. So I'm thinking
I say that too.
It could have been so easy for Kate to just fall into that trap of like autism celebrity mom stardom. I just made that up.
Ooh, I was going to say, did you just make that up?
Yeah. But the thing is,
net famous, internet famous, and it happens. And so you're saying it didn't go to her head or anything like that?
Yeah, no, I love that she's down to earth, and she hasn't let this get to her head, because I know there's other moms out, because believe me, I was part of autism mom communities, and that we had a very, I don't even remember how many people were in it. We had a Facebook group of all these autism moms that were admins of pages. And one of the pages that we're streaming to right now used to be known as Bursting with Autism. But over the weekend, it got a facelift, and it has now been renamed to Autism Moms TV 2.0 Talk Shows with April Roga hyphen live streaming. But when it was Bursting with Autism, I was part of a group of a lot of well-known autism moms. And I thought, it was kind of like being back in grade school when you're like the cool kid at the table. And you're like, wow, this person kind of was like internet famous to me. And now I'm like rubbing virtual elbows with them, and I'm getting to know them, and I'm befriending them. And I felt like I was one of them. Everybody has some group of people that they want to be a part of, and it's a tribe. But oh, look, Lillian says she remembers that group.
Oh, great. Yeah, I was going to say, so, that's not what we're looking for here. We're not looking for clicks. And when a click develops here under our roof, so to speak, inside of our inner circle, I'm very blunt. I will be the first one to speak up. I only want people here who will accept other people who aren't quite blank yet, whatever that blank is for you. If you look down your nose at someone and say, oh my goodness, no, blah, 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 then instead of allowing that person not to be a part of what you're doing or the group that you're a part of, we'll just say, yeah, we'll just remove you and bring the other person in. And I know that's going to be
Listen, there's going to be people out there who are doing their advocacy, and
good. Lillian is not cliquish. I love that. Yes. All for one and one for all.
Doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
Because I met those people.
Yes.
And I don't believe for one second that Kate is that type of person. And
no, I don't think so either.
Truly here to inform people and to role model for people what it looks like to go through her day-to-day life with her son. And it's very valuable stuff.
Yeah, I just heard that. So I was vetting her along with April today so we could have some clips for the show. And we decided to start with Kate because we believe that Kate is not cliquish. She had one of her videos got over 1 million views already, and I love that, and I was going to play that. So first of all, we have the 6 degrees of separation from April Roga. That's what I wanted to do and start with. So she's an autism mom. So April is going to show up day to day a little different than Kate, because what I heard in the clip that I heard from Kate today is basically she's just documenting her day to day. She doesn't know exactly what's what. She just, hey, this is happening, so I'm going to turn on the camera. The one, I guess, that got 1 million views was the one where she was in the bathroom and she was saying something. Wasn't it that one? She was in the bathroom, kind of staged. She was showing she was on the floor near the toilet and something was going on. And so that got a lot of traction. It's got over 1 million views. And we both asked each other, looked at each other and went, that had to be staged because, no one's going to just capture that, which is okay because today most people don't even.
Unless you live in this house. I mean, it is possible that somebody could pick up the camera and go, like, his name's probably Roy, by the way.
I document everything.
Yeah. I mean, because no, really, I mean, her and her husband, I mean, this is part of what they do. This is, this is 2020,
and she started 3.5 years ago. So 2017, It is the 21st century, and you can document your life, and that's what April and I want to do. So not only do we want to get the 6 degrees of separation from April, but we also want to get the 6 degrees of separation from from
Great.
Kate Swenson, and she just started a round table talk discussion, which she does on Sunday night, or was it Saturday night? It
That's a good question.
it was one of the weekend nights.
It was one of the weekend nights.
I think it was Saturday.
I don't even
And
know if she's had picked a designated day for it.
well, I think both of them were on Saturday over the last 2 weeks. So she's done two of them. There's three parents or moms. I don't know if she's focusing on moms or just parents, but it's been all women, six of them, three the first week, three the second week. And I caught some of the second week after the fact. And we looked, and 97,000 views. Oh, hey, Casey's here. So what does Casey have to say?
All I know is, Casey, I love people who leave long comments like that.
Yes, please. If you know, if it just April will look above it if her face gets covered.
I like her avatar.
Go ahead and read what Casey had to say.
She said, I'd be excited to hear about moms learning by listening to their kids and others, teaching from their perspectives of life experience with a disability. There is so much focus on the deficits, but these kids have so many strengths to celebrate. They have so much to teach us. And that is exactly the same thing that I want to talk about, because there's so many parents who complain. They're complaining like, oh, my kid didn't do this and my kid's struggling with that. But what about all the amazing things that our kids do?
And are teaching us as parents, yes, that we never would have learned. Yes. Casey, I am with her.
I've realized since being at home, working from home during COVID, I had a meeting with my boss today on the phone, our monthly meeting, and he's like, so how's Morgan doing? And I'm like, he's good. You know, we're just hanging out here. And he's like, oh, I bet he's spoiled having you at home with him. And I'm like, no, he just sits in iPads all day. I mean, that's literally what he does. Because I mean, I'm working. It's not like I can interact with him all day. I interact with him, you know, here and there throughout the day. But there's things that I'm learning that he's doing that I would not be aware of if we didn't have this time together. And he has this funny thing that on his iPad, he's been watching Conan O'Brien. So Conan O'Brien, if we send you this soundbite, or, you know, one of your friends just happens to be he watches it on repeat. Like, you know, that
he's so enamored.
YouTube, you can go back like 10 seconds. He'll replay the 10 seconds like 150 times. And when I'm sitting here working, I'll hear,
Yeah, he'll want to get us our attention with and if we don't, he gets louder. Yeah, and then we look and we go, we know it's Conan O'Brien, and he just lights up. His face, we're learning so much. Lillian says,
something I have to take into consideration is my son is verbal now. He is aware of what I post and talk about.
Yes.
I share his stories with his approval. I will share his full story with you all.
Oh, love that. Yes, we need to have a whole entire segment of that, Lillian, and we will post it on our website. You can post it on your social media. That's what we do. We want to spotlight, you know, these individual case-by-case case studies. So thank you for that. Yes, and before we go on to that, I don't want to get too far behind it or beyond it. Samson says,
he says, can you talk about parents that do not accept the fact that their child is autistic? It took a while for my wife's brother to accept this. He's 6 now and has been getting help for the last 2 years. So, Samson, do you think that your wife's brother, well, you said it took him a while to accept it. So, but I'm guessing you're saying this is probably a common thing. And, you know, for my former husband, my son's dad, it was something that he was not really open to. He was in denial because, you know, This was 10 years ago. We got the diagnosis, not 10 years ago, he's 10. It was about a little over 7 years ago that he got diagnosed. And, Facebook was still kind of in its infancy, maybe a toddler stage. So we didn't have the kind of access back then that many have now. And we didn't know anybody with kids on the spectrum. And so everything we learned was on the internet for the most part. And then we had the doctors who give you information, and sometimes it's alarming.
Woohoo! So that's good, right? Lillian's ex-husband is still there, meaning he's still in his child's life. Yes, Lillian, am I reading that correctly? That's what you mean, right? He's still there, even though he's ex to you. He's not ex to your child.
Yeah, he hasn't left you.
And I'm not ex-dad. I'm just ex-husband, and he's still there. So a lot of dads are there for their children differently. Samson, look up Rodney Peete and his son, because Rodney Peete, Heisman Trophy winner, football great, professional, blah blah blah.
Holly Robinson Pete's husband.
Husband, yes. And it took him a while to accept that he was in denial. He said, my son, is not going to play football. I'm not going to do the regular things with him and stuff like that. So maybe that's what your brother-in-law is going through as well, or went through as well.
No, she's saying her ex is still in denial about the autism.
Oh, okay. So I'm sorry. I shouldn't use my brain. but that's why I asked for clarification. So good. He's still in denial. Oh my goodness. And it's usually father and son. I think it's a lot quicker if it's father and daughter. Is a lot quicker because they lose the connection, the all the thoughts that they had, playing football, playing baseball, doing all the father stuff, the son stuff, and then now for me, I think I'm not like that, but I think for the some guys, their masculinity and their manhood is attacked this way, and so they can't make any kind of reconciliation with that, because they don't have anybody else to bounce it off of, and that's what they need. That's why I said, Samson, you and I and others need to come in and speak to guys like this. Just make these videos and say, guys, if you're like this, in denial, and you feel like that, and blah, 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 this and that, join us, because talking it out is going to allow you to not have to act it out.
But how do you get somebody who's already in denial into a seat here with us to talk about something that they're in denial about? Any advice on that?
Well, they don't have to take a seat. They just have to watch the video, or they have to just watch the live show incognito if they want, or what have you. And the wives will do it. The moms will do it. The moms will say, you got to watch this. This is exactly what's going on, because the mom whispers to us, or the sister whispers to us, or whoever the relationship is. This is why he feels this way.
Listen, so I'm just going to put this out here, because this is my superpower. So for anybody who has someone in their life, in Lillian's case, it's her ex-husband, and I don't know what kind of relationship you have with him. If it's like the one I have with my former, where we're not friends, so to speak, but like we're civil, and we can have, conversation about anything. If you have that type of relationship, and you give me some more detail behind the scenes about what in particular, where he's stuck, I can craft something in my own head to prepare for the next show that we do. And then if you think that would be something that you could play in his presence, and just say, listen to this real quick, or maybe, if you are around him for any period of time, or maybe it's something you could even email him and say, just listen to this. It would speak directly to him, because you've shared with me where the pain point is.
Right. And we would make it known without letting on that we were told just
without
that.
Saying your name or anything.
Right. And we will never tell a person what to do. This is not who we are. We're not even saying that this is advice that we're giving people. We're just giving people a different perspective. Everybody has a perspective. And what I've found in my life, in the 6 decades that I've been on this planet, is that people will want to hear someone else's perspective, and they'll go like, oh, I didn't have that. Oh, I didn't have that. Because even if it wasn't with something, with special needs related, anything in life, because you don't have everybody's perspective. There's no way you could have it. And then the way we say it here in a fun, funny, and fruitful way is like, oh, I use my own brain, or please don't use your own brain. Listen to mine. It's a perspective. You do with it what you want, because we don't have any responsibility to force you to do what we've done, or how we know that this might be more helpful than the way you're thinking now. Because sometimes we call it stinking thinking and junk in the trunk. And it's all you have and it's all you know. And it's a blow. And it's not wrong. It's just different. And, you grew up with this expectation, and your child or your nephew or your niece or whoever that person is now, the expectation is dead. You don't have, and yet you could change your thinking. You could change your perspective, and you'd be better off, because you can't change what you can't change. But there's no need to be miserable about it and in denial about it. It's like, what good does that do? And you end up kicking the dog and yelling at your loved ones. So I say, just listen to the perspective, and that's what we're here for. So I think I made my point.
You think?
Where are we going with this?
Samson said he also co-parents his oldest son, high functioning autism, with his former. He also doesn't like.
Good. Awesome. Using the former. I love that term. Yes. X.
And he said that they get along better now than they did when they were married. Thank God.
Amen for that. Yes. Yes. And that's usually the case when you don't have to be as responsible with the other person as a spouse. It's like, for me, it's like a cat. I love cats, but can't live with them. So if I go somewhere and visit them, then it's a nice thing. Hey, we're getting to learn all kinds of cool things about Samson, and we have a double dipper now with this show and Pat's show, and we show up there, and then if we have another mutual acquaintance turning into a friend, we can go to their show, and that's what I love. I love when we can all support one another and then find out, oh my goodness, I'm not only supporting you, but I can get support from you or the tribe that will start to happen. And because look how many people we already have, and this is our third week, and we want to start shouting out other autism moms, dads, special needs, the whole gamut. Yeah, read that, please.
Wow, he used to kick in doors to remove kids from hostile environments, so he has no problem talking to people. He had a sit down with his wife's brother, and he finally got it. So I'm guessing you may have had to kick a door and get it through his head. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm glad that you were able to get through to him, and because not everybody has that person in their life that can get through to them, and some people don't. They're just resistant no matter what you say or what you do. But it sounds like you were persistent, and I would love to see this show that we're doing, this TV 2.0 talk show, truly become a round table talk discussion where we bring people in every week, and people who are here bring other people in, and we start getting people in the seats to share their stories, to share, like Casey was saying, the successes, not just the hard times and the struggles.
Absolutely. Let's give that perspective. Yes.
Kids, we want to celebrate the parents, and we want to show people that the kids who have special needs are not less than, that they can think. Sometimes we talk to these kids like on
Like they
auto.
can't think. Yeah, exactly. The way you treat them.
I've been guilty of that because I get so used to doing the same thing with my son for a period of time that I forget to kind of test him and see if there's something new that he's learned that he can show me. And he gets comfortable just going, yeah, mom, take my shoe off, or yeah, mom, do this or that for me. And I'm like, okay, I do this every day anyway. We need to talk about stuff like that so that there's other parents out there who aren't doing the same and missing opportunities where their kids can shine.
Elizabeth, we would love you to do that. So she's talking about the good stuff, right? That
We don't know.
we hear the good stuff that our kids are teaching us, doing for society, and so on and so forth, instead of having them to be looked at and treated as second-rate citizens. I want to get back to this here really quick, and then I want to get to what Casey just said. So I'm loving what's going on. We're probably not going to get to Kate. Kate, I'm sorry, we're not going to get to you all this whole week, but we're going to do another one, and then we'll put the piece it together. I want to address this. We blab. Samson, we blab people. I'm going to blab you right now. That's Body Language 2.0 and beyond. That's a hashtag with blab and a 2 in the middle. That's Body Language 2.0 and beyond. So I'm going to give my best shot here. He has said several times, like all the time, my wife's brother. That is like an arm length away from brother-in-law, a.k.a. brother-in-love. He's none of those. Samson sees him not as a brother-in-law or a brother-in-law. It's his wife's brother, which is at an arm's length. And am I correct in assuming that? This is not a dig. This is just me asking, is that how you see him? It's like, if you did not have to deal with him for the rest of your life, you'd be okay with that, is what I'm thinking. And Samson says, Roy, keep digging. Thank you. Love that. You read what Casey says.
People are taught to judge or assess others based on observation. That can be so confusing if observing children with sensory motor and communication challenges related to their autism. Their bodies are not reliable and do not respond in typical ways. That is not representative of their cognitive abilities. That was such an important realization for me.
Wow. Me three. So I kind of sort of knew that because when I met Morgan, he did the sensory thing with the flapping, with the humming, with the singing, with the outbursts, not in a negative way necessarily. And when he has an issue, a deep issue, he does the head banging. So yeah, there's no way we can tell. And with Morgan, there's no way we can even ask because he doesn't know how to tell us what his body language is portraying. So Casey, that is perfect. That needs to be
Talked about.
What?
Talked about.
Not only talked about, but that has to be like reminded. People have to be reminded of this a lot because especially when you walk into a store, people think that you are a bad parent and don't know how to discipline your own child when they flap and when they do what they do and when they take every cereal box off the shelf and when they don't listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth. It's like they have no clue because unless they have a sign that says I'm autistic or I'm on the autism spectrum, leave me alone, or don't think anything and judge me, they're not going to know. There is no way of knowing that your child has got autism if you're out in public. They just automatically assume. So I'm glad for that.
So I want to know, Casey, based on what you just said, she said she'd love to help find communication for Morgan. It's possible. So first, where are you coming to us from? Is it the Advocates for Angels page that you found us, or from the formerly known as Bursting with Autism page? And what is it that, are you a mom to a child on the spectrum or an educator? Because we get a lot of educators who just want to support parents because they're passionate about it.
Yeah, totally. We love to know, Casey. Just let us know.
Because we really want to build relationships with the people who come here.
Advocates for Angels. Valerie's tribe. So you know Valerie or know of her, that kind of thing, and in between. So April, was I right? There was how spot on was my blab?
Spot on.
I
Yet.
love it. I love
Yet.
it. I love the yet because he is definitely leaving room in his heart when the wife's brother, who probably should remain nameless, comes around and says, "Oh my goodness, what was I thinking? This is family. This is my family. This is, a person I should be loving and not denying that they even exist or that they have this blank that I think that they have, which is so negative and blah, 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 and all the negative self chatter and self talk and junk in the trunk and stinking thinking and all the things that I can think of. So, Samson, yes. And hopefully, maybe he can hear parts of this show when you start to connect with us and give us some more insight, and we'll give our perspective, and maybe he can listen to it, and maybe he'll come to his senses and break down to tears and go, oh my goodness, yes, I need to look at this differently. So because right now I think he's in me mode. So as soon as he can go into we mode, that just might change for everyone concerned. I love that. So okay, so it's the bottom of the hour. It's 90 minutes. We usually go about an hour, and we did want to get through this. Do you want to play the whole 60 minutes or 6 minutes, or you want to wait till next week?
No, I want to do that in context because I want to dedicate an entire show to Kate Swenson. And
okay, yeah, so do I.
Her videos and what she brings to the table for the community of.
Maybe we could do that behind the scenes because every time we want to do it on this show, if people show up, that's great.
Well, yeah, but if you share bits and pieces of things, it sparks conversation and thoughts.
It does. It absolutely does, and we zag here.
Yes, we don't
have
a topic.
Yeah, and we're unscripted, so we wait. Content is not king here; the content provider is. And so tonight we've talked with 3, 4, or 5 different people that I love this, and it's not quite the way that Pat Flynn does it, Q&A or ask me anything kind of thing. It's just a discussion. People put stuff out there. There's questions, and then there's statements, and like this, Casey.
I can't help but be drawn to the eye thing, in the little emoji.
Too cool.
She said that she stumbled across this, I'm assuming this show, a couple of times and love the heart of it. She's a neurological music therapist. You know what? My son loves music, so I bet you would find a way to help him communicate because I think that is the gateway for him through music. Hence why he likes to watch the theme opening thing of the Conan O'Brien. He's just all about the music. Guardian of a family member with a disability and founder of a nonprofit for families affected by autism. So Casey.
Wow.
Perhaps next week when we do this at 9:00 Eastern, if you're available, you could take a seat with us and you can share with people who you are and tell us about your journey and how you're helping other people, because I would love to get to meet you. You're on mute.
Yes, me too. And for those of you who want to connect with April on Facebook as a friend, so we can put you in an inner circle so we can have more access to you and you can have more access to us and each other throughout the week, and you don't have to wait a whole week to get here, please just type in m.me/April Roga and just say, hey, yeah, I'm here. Me. We'll remember your name. We'll see your face, and we'll put you in the inner circle, and April will accept your friend request. So that's the way we need to do it, and we want to be able to access each other. I'm home. April still has her 8 to 5. And at night, April is always available from say 9 to 10:30, like what we're doing now. And it's 10:30 on the nose. And we would love to connect with people Eastern time, 9 to 10:30 Eastern time, and just see what happens, what we can build together, because we want you. April, say this in the final thoughts for this evening, because a lot of people are used to Facebook groups and or live streams being all about
One
the
way.
host
One way.
and the host just broadcasting and not allowing input. And we want you to come on our show and do a segment. We would love to have everybody here do 5 minutes every week, every Tuesday, 5 minutes, 5 minutes for you, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. And the more people we get, maybe we'll have to go 3 minutes. But we want your voice, your expertise, your perspective. It is just as valid as anybody's, and maybe even more so if we don't know what we don't know. We want that. I'm not sitting here going like, I'm the authority on autism and special needs and stuff. It's like, no, I want to learn. I need to know what I don't know, and even if I've learned it from you, I need to learn it from someone else because they may have more stuff. So none of us is as smart as all of us, and this is what we want. So April, you've got some final thoughts here, and I'm going to go ahead and jump off.
Okay, toodles. So I do have final thoughts because you all have energized me by being here tonight and by engaging because, I was saying earlier, there's a lot of live streams out there where it's one person just broadcasting, or if there's more than one person and there's a guest or two or three or four or more on the screen, they tend to talk with each other and forget that you all are out in the audience wanting to be part of the conversation. And so that is the environment that we are creating here. It's never about me. I am completely the opposite of most people out there who are live streaming. I can talk by myself like I'm doing now and just have a conversation, but I know who's on the other end of the camera. I know that each of you are out there and I'm speaking to you and speaking to your hearts, hopefully. But I do much better when you all are engaging and part of the conversation, because I could talk until I'm blue in the face. I don't know if the people who are hearing me want to hear what I have to say. So I'd rather be in conversation with you and have a dialogue. So Casey said that next week she'd love to jump in a seat with us. And I've heard of that. Rethink Autism. Casey said that her son loves music. So I'm sure that Elizabeth said, Casey, how amazing my son loves music. And so I'm sure that Elizabeth, you would benefit from listening to Casey talk about what she does with, I forget the exact words she said. She's a neurologic music therapist. I've never heard of a music therapist that nichified before. I didn't know there was such a thing as neurologic music therapist. So I'm intrigued. Not only do I know I can learn something from you, but I know there's other parents out there who also would benefit from having a conversation that's that nichified, because our kiddos are, like you said, where was it? You said it before and I can't find it now. Music is a powerful tool. Rhythm helps these kids access their bodies better. Absolutely. And I just know that as a mom who's really tuned into her son. Oh, look, Ashley's in the Ashley, we have to get you in a seat too. So listen. And okay, before I zag, Lillian said, I just stumbled across this live feed. I'm so glad I did. So where did you stumble upon us from? Because I know where I'm streaming to, and you're on Facebook. So it was either my profile or Advocates for Angels or the formerly known as Bursting with Autism page. Because I'd love to know where you all found us. It helps me. Hey, Archer in the house even. It helps me to know where you all are finding us from so that we know.
Hey, Archer. I just have to say that. It's like, see, okay, my dream. I have to say this, babe. My dream after 4 years with April. 4 years with it. Listen, I just triggered myself. I do this a lot. For those of you who think that April's all that polished and she woke up one day and said, I'm live streaming like this. Nah, this is how she showed up. This is April 1.0, and there she goes, looking over it. I love this platform. I can do this. I have some of these amazing pictures ready to roll. That was her income stream family. Yes, that's what I was just going to say. Is that we all come from different places, and then we meet, and then everybody thinks, "Oh, you've always been like this." Hashtag no. This was April over here. She showed up. There was no lighting. She showed up small. She felt inferior. She didn't think she could keep up with the people that were in the seats in the conversation, but she was intrigued. She wanted to learn. She wanted to give her input. And so I said, let's do this. And so her and I built a quick, fast friendship. And, 42 days later, month or two later, there she was on the right, April 2.0. After 42 days, she says, Roy, I'm April 2.0. And I said, oh. And she said, yeah, this thought that I just had, April 1.0 would have had that thought, not this thought. So now I'm dubbing myself April 2.0, and it's stuck. So love that. And
Archer, you are a fast typist. Like the comments are coming.
Amen to that. And again, for you today, next week, we're into final thoughts. But next week, we always post the link to take a seat with us. We love that. We want people to take a seat with us. 4 minutes, 40 minutes, the whole time, just some of the time. Come back. It doesn't matter.
I'm not done. Go away. Okay. So that's what I do because I have the power. So couple of things. One, I do post the show link for next Tuesday evening right after this ends. So if you listen, I know a lot of people don't follow pages or I should say get notifications from pages. I would encourage you, if it's a page that you're really interested in finding out more about the people, the content is super important to you, I would encourage you to turn on your notifications for the page, especially because like pages like ours that live stream a lot, that's how you're going to get notified. In fact, right now, while you're here, there should be a thing, I'll call it a thing, for you to turn on notifications for whichever platform you're on. We're streaming to Facebook and YouTube right now. And of course, if you're here through our YouTube, see, hey, Archer rung the bell. And did you subscribe? I guess you had to ring the bell to subscribe. So yeah, if you want to know when we're going live, turn on your notifications for the live streams. So I will create the broadcast right after this for next week. The other important thing I want to say, I am super, as you can clearly see, I'm super approachable. I don't have an egotistical bone in my body. And I really, truly am here to build connections with people and have authentic relationships. And although we call this a TV 2.0 talk show, it's a conversation among people who are getting to know each other and who are wanting to bless other people who are out there struggling through issues of life that they can't find other people to relate with them about. So I want to be that alternative to what's out there. Like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of people that broadcast one way, or they just talk to each other and it's kind of cliquish, where you feel like you're on the outside looking in. And there's plenty of places to go find content nowadays. You can read a book, you can read an article online, offline, you can watch a YouTube video, recorded, pre-recorded, all that. There's no lack of resources. But what we are lacking, and especially now during COVID-19, is connection. And I know we hear that word thrown around a lot, connection and authenticity and all these buzzwords, right? But to really connect, for me, because a connection may mean something different for each of you, but for me, connection means getting to know each other deeply. It doesn't mean you have to tell somebody your whole life story. It doesn't mean you have to share every intimate detail of who you are with the other person. But it just means that when the time is right and you feel comfortable in your environment, then instead of talking about what game is on TV, although it doesn't seem like there's any games on TV these days, news, weather, sports, politics, all that fun stuff, instead of talking about that, talk about each other. Find out and dig deep into who the other person is. Ask questions, challenge one another, hold each other accountable. We all need accountability partners. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. We all need somebody to just come to us every day and go, hey, remember that thing you said you were going to do, that book you were going to write, that diet you were going to start, that new thing you were going to do with your son because you said blah, blah, blah. We need somebody to check in with us, or a lot of somebodies to check in with us and find out how we are, where we are, and kind of give us that little nudge that we need when we need to keep some momentum going in our lives. And I want that to be how we build connections here, through deep conversation and being consistent in showing up for each other every day. I don't think we have that in very many places on Facebook, even in Facebook groups. But our Facebook group is different. Our Facebook group is going to be encouraging people not just to connect with each other, because in some groups they're like, don't talk to each other. Like, don't DM people outside of the group because that's spammy. They're going to say, don't drop links to the shows you're doing because that's spammy. Well, don't just drop a link and leave it there and say nothing about it. We want people to share what they're doing. We want people to go live inside of our group. We want to hear people's voices, because the texting thing, it can only take you so far. I get to a certain point where I'm talking to somebody in text and it's like, okay, I don't get, like, we're talking past each other, and you hear me talking right now. When I get excited about something, it just wants to come out like a fire hose. So I need voice for me. And if that's something that doesn't interest you, then this probably isn't the place for you to get with us in the inner circle. I mean, to come here and listen to us is great. But if there's somebody who's out here who's listening and you're like, wow, I really like the energy and I like the thought behind what they're doing, and the autism moms and autism dads and special needs community, or if you're not part of that community, you're not a special needs parent, but maybe you know someone who is, or you just have a heart for people like myself and others who have children with special needs, that you're like, what can I do to serve you? How can I help you? Please, by all means, come here and say, what can I do to help you? And we will tell you what you can do to help us. Because believe you me, we need some help in certain areas. We have a website we're working on. So if anybody has some Divi experience, we could use your help with that. I always say, don't be shy to ask people for help, because you never know who you're keeping a blessing from. Because oftentimes I want to help people and they don't let me. And I feel like, why are you stealing my blessings from me? So I'm getting all like passionate now and I'm sweating. See, I love your passion, she says. I love, no, I thought it said Pigeon Forge. What does that say on your thing? Okay. I'm scrolling. You need the person or group. In times of social isolation, people have bonded more. Yes, you always need someone else. We can't be our own island. It just doesn't work. So, I don't know if I put up all the comments, but I'm super excited. Tonight, you all blessed the socks off of me. And if this is something that interests you and you want to be a part of what we're doing, this is not just where we come and do shows. This is truly a movement, the net friending movement, where we want people to be a part of what we're doing. We want everybody here to have a voice, and we want to teach you how to champion the people that you're following for your niche, whatever that is, whatever you're passionate about. It may be your business that you're in. Like if you're an author and there's other authors that you follow and you want to learn how to brand champion them, we can share with you how to do that. If you have a tribe of people who follow you currently, but they're like not really, they just show up here and there, but they don't really shout you out, we can teach you how to teach your tribe to champion you using hashtags, how to do that in live streams. And we could show you how to get on other people's radar, because that's kind of a superpower of ours. So in closing, the passion comes through, which is important. Yes, it's super important. Super important. I know that's what I'm drawn to also. So in closing, I want to say that anybody who's been here tonight, who will yet to come on the replay, please, if you're interested in being on the show, whether it's next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, or there's, you want to do something outside of the weekly Tuesday night thing, please reach out to me and in direct messenger. You don't have to friend request me. I'm that type of person who, until I get to know somebody, I don't necessarily accept the friend request or reach out with a friend request. But if I feel the vibe to do so, I will. But I don't want you to feel obligated to friend request me, because I do check my other message request folder. So if you DM me on Facebook, I will see it. So if you're interested, please connect with me, or Roy. Maybe you feel more comfortable talking to him. I don't know. I shouldn't assume. But it's 10:48 here on the East Coast right now. So we've been going for, almost 2 hours. So with that, I will bid you adieu. I'm going to go create the link before I go to sleep for next Tuesday. And I appreciate all of you who showed up tonight. I loved the lively conversation, and I'm looking forward to doing it again next Tuesday night, 9:00 Eastern. Until then, y'all be good and stay healthy. Good night.